Nadia. You're slacking off again. Shoot, it's Kelly. I instinctively try to stand up, but my body won't move. As the sliding door opens, Kelly enters with an angry voice. What are you resting for, being just a daughter-in-law? Kelly strides over to me. Then, she does something unbelievable. She yanks away the cushion I'm sitting on. Huh? I fall back onto the mat as the cushion is pulled away. I instinctively protect my stomach with my hands, but feel a sharp impact on them. It seems Kelly kicked me in the belly as I fell. Get up already. With that nuisance of a belly, I should give you another one. I had given up hope, but someone was watching this situation. The person made Kelly sit down and scolded her sharply. This stupid. Thanks to the person, I was saved. My name is Nadia, and I'm 30 years old, currently pregnant. Despite some health issues due to the pregnancy, the joy of carrying the baby of the person I love keeps me going. Nadia, you okay? If you feel bad, say it right away. Yeah, thanks. Right now, we are on our way to my parents' house to announce the pregnancy. My husband, Tom, is driving and keeps checking on me. Of course, the first person I told about the pregnancy was Tom. When I told him after he came back from work, he was so happy despite being tired. A boy or a girl? Doesn't matter. Just as long as they're born healthy. I remember tearing up seeing him get emotional. Will the people we're about to tell be just as happy? Feeling nervous? Yeah. A little. Tom smiles at me, and I respond with a faint smile. If we were going to tell my biological parents, maybe I wouldn't be this nervous. It's a bit complicated. I lost my mother when I was young. Since then, my father has been raising my brother and me on his own. It must have been incredibly hard. I love my father so much. So when my brother moved out after getting married, and it was my turn, I worried about leaving my father alone. Dad, wanna live together? After discussing it with Tom, I offered this to my father. But his response was unexpected. You know, I've been thinking of remarrying. Apparently, he had been close with a woman for a while. And so, I got a new mother. When we arrived at my parents' house, my new mother greeted us. Hello, welcome. Mom, long time no see. Though I call her Mom, it feels awkward every time. She became my mother after I moved out, so I've barely met her. And unlike my laid-back father, she always seems strict. To put it simply, she's not easy to deal with. Today, I have something I want you all to hear. Beside my father sat my new mother, and beside me, Tom. After we all sat down facing each other in the living room, I nervously made my announcement. Oh, what is it? Well, it's still early, but I'm pregnant. Really? Congratulations! That's great! My dad's face lit up with his usual laugh lines, clearly delighted. I'm finally gonna be a grandpa. Guess it's about time I got old. I can't believe I'm gonna be a father. I'm so excited. While Tom and my dad were chatting away happily, I quietly observed my mom's reaction. She was expressionless, hard to read. What was she feeling right now? As I wondered, she suddenly stood up and left the room. Should I follow her? As I hesitated, she quickly returned. In her hands were a thin blanket and a cushion. Nadia, use these. But this room gets surprisingly cold. Oh, thank you. I felt a bit happy realizing she was concerned for me. Yet, my mom always had a stern look. Was it her cold, business-like demeanor that made her seem unapproachable? A simple congratulations would have made me happier. Maybe then, we could have gotten closer. I was thinking such wishful thoughts. We planned to leave right after the announcement, but my brother and his wife Kelly visited, changing our plans. Tom and I live about an hour's drive from my parents' house. In contrast, my brother and Kelly live just a 5-minute drive away. They often visited on days off, like today. It was an unexpected encounter, but a good opportunity, so I shared the news of my pregnancy. No way! Darn, you beat me to it. That's frustrating. I chuckled at my brother jokingly expressing his disappointment. Kelly lightly tapped his head. What are you talking about? First, congratulations. Congratulations, Nadia. Thank you. Kelly had a vibe similar to my mom's. Straightforward and kind, but somewhat intimidating. But honestly, I'm envious. We've been trying with no luck. Just getting older over here. At this rate, we'll be old before we know it. I'm only 2 years younger than you. Thanks for the consolation. Kelly sometimes made self-deprecating comments like this. I always find it hard to respond in these moments. Well, we should probably get going, Tom. Yeah, sounds good. As we were about to leave, my parents and my brother's family offered to see us out. I felt a bit dizzy, maybe from the pregnancy or just the tension. I needed to be careful not to fall. I was holding on to the handrail for safety when suddenly, I felt a heavy impact on my right shoulder from behind. Ouch! I almost stumbled but managed to stay upright thanks to the handrail. Sorry. Nadia. I accidentally tripped and bumped into you. Are you okay? Yes, I'm fine. It was Kelly who had bumped into me. Tripped? But we were just walking down a straight hallway. Can that really happen? Normally, wouldn't you grab the handrail or the person next to you if you were about to fall? Why would she bump into me, knowing I was pregnant? A chill ran down my spine, feeling uneasy. Sorry. Oh, you don't think I did it on purpose, do you? Don't look at me like that. It's okay. I'm fine. I couldn't accuse her without proof. Maybe it was just an accident. With that, we left my parents' house without saying anything else. After getting home, I took some time to think. Maybe I'm being a bit oversensitive because of the pregnancy. I've always gotten along okay with Kelly. There are things about her that I find difficult, but we've never really had a problem. I'm sure that feeling of malice I sensed was just in my head. I tried to convince myself of that. But after that, I started encountering strange things more often, and with each incident, my distrust towards Kelly grew. The first odd thing was about my personal belongings left at my parents' house. Turns out, they were somehow thrown out in the garbage. It was my mom who contacted me. I found some clothes that looked familiar in the trash. I picked them up, but what do you want to do with them? Can you leave them as they are? I'd like to check them. Later, when Tom and I went to check, they were indeed my belongings. Both my mom and dad said they would go into my room, but they wouldn't throw anything away without asking. So, who did? Well, the day before the garbage day, Kelly came over to visit. Oddly enough, she was alone. What? My heart raced. Previous incidents came flooding back. My mom looked at me silently, then said something as if she had sensed something. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. It's not good to suspect without proof, but maybe you should ask. What will you do? What can I do? It bothered me. But I didn't want to stir up unnecessary trouble. It's okay. She probably just came over to visit. All right. Then, for a while, nothing happened. Fortunately, my pregnancy was going well, and the baby was growing healthy. Before I knew it, I was already 8 months pregnant. By this time, I had entered a stable period of the pregnancy, and my physical condition had improved. Since I hadn't seen Kelly in a while, there were no more troubles. Then one day, my dad invited us over, saying, "Why don't you and Tom come over on your next day off?" He picked a day when there was a big festival near our parents' house. Every year, we gather at our parents' house for this festival. It's a big, noisy celebration with all our relatives. When I told them about your pregnancy, everyone was happy. They said they'd love to see you. But of course, your health is most important. Standing for a long time was difficult with my growing belly. But otherwise, I had no problems. I think we'll go. Great! Everyone will be so happy. With Tom's agreement, we visited my parents' house after a long time. Long time no see, Nadia. Congratulations. Wow, you've grown. This is going to be a healthy, fine baby. Every relative I met congratulated me. There were relatives I could only see on this day. I was so happy that I moved around more than I should have. Nadia, aren't you moving too much? Isn't your belly tight? It was my mom who pointed it out to me, as I hadn't even noticed the tightness in my belly. Oh, true. It might be a bit tight. Do take care. You're this child's mother, after all. Mom said sternly, then took my hand and led me to the next room. There was a mattress in that room. Lie down for a bit. Thank you. I could hear everyone's voices from the slightly distant room. Lying down, I realized I was more tired than I thought. I felt like I could fall asleep right there. As my head started to get fuzzy and I began to doze off, I felt a light tap on my head. Huh? When I opened my eyes, there was Kelly with a stern face. Hey! What are you doing here? Everyone's come to see Nadia, right? Sleeping is just selfish. Come on, get up. But, without giving me a chance to refuse, Kelly dragged me out and back to the relatives. Oh, Nadia! Where have you been? Surrounded by everyone, I couldn't say I wanted to rest, so I just joined the conversation, forcing a smile. As I moved and stayed standing, I could feel my belly getting tighter again. This wasn't good. I tried to leave several times, but each time Kelly stopped me. Really? You always try to be alone. Do you dislike everyone that much, Nadia? Accused like this, there was no way I could leave. I stayed as long as I could, and when Kelly went to the bathroom, I finally escaped to another room. I really wanted to lie down in the room, but I couldn't risk it. I didn't know when Kelly might come back. Struggling to keep my balance, I managed to sit down on a cushion I brought from the room. I sighed quietly. Honestly, I wanted to lie down, but I couldn't risk Kelly finding me. I didn't know what she would say to others if she saw me lying down. She had been subtly putting me down since earlier. This place felt like a battlefield to me. I couldn't let my guard down for a second. Keep it together. But contrary to my resolve, my belly kept getting tighter. It wasn't painful, but I could feel it hardening. I was only 8 months pregnant, not yet at full term. I couldn't afford to give birth now. I didn't want to put any more strain on the baby. But if I rested, who knows what would be said about me? When should I move? What should I do? While I was sitting there, hand on my belly, worrying. Nadia. Slacking off again. Shoot, it's Kelly. I tried to stand reflexively, but I couldn't move. With the sound of the sliding door opening, Kelly entered, her voice filled with anger. What are you resting for? Just being a daughter-in-law. Kelly strode toward me aggressively. But here in this house, I'm a daughter, not a daughter-in-law. That's what I thought, but the next moment, she did something unbelievable. She yanked away the cushion I was sitting on. Huh? The force of the cushion being pulled made me fall back onto the mat. Instinctively, I protected my stomach with my hands, but then felt a heavy impact on them. It was Kelly's foot. She had kicked towards my stomach as I fell. Luckily, her foot hit my hands, so the impact on my stomach was less. Get up already. With that nuisance of a belly, should I give you another one? She seemed to have no intention of pretending anymore. I knew I needed to get up quickly. But my heavy belly and the shock of what just happened slowed me down. You're so slow. As I was on all fours, Kelly clicked her tongue and raised her foot again. Stop! I couldn't react in time. I braced myself for the impact, curling up tightly. That's when it happened. Stop it! A loud, authoritative voice echoed in the room. Looking towards the voice, I saw my mother standing there, her expression fierce. Don't move! You hear me! My mother walked over briskly and crouched next to me. Mom! How's your belly? Did you hit your head? Are you okay? Any pain? Mom, with furrowed brows, checked over my body. Yes. I'm okay. Just scraped my leg a bit, nothing serious. Show me. But it's just a little. Just show me. I extended my right leg as told. It wasn't a big deal. When I fell, I couldn't break my fall properly because I was protecting my belly, so I just scraped my knee. It was a bit raw, but not a serious injury. I was relieved that the baby was okay. But seeing my reddened knee, Mom's frown deepened. It looks painful. We need to disinfect it. It's really not a big deal. Don't say it's not a big deal. Your body is important. But first. Mom slowly turned around and glared sharply at Kelly. Kelly, sit down over there. It's not what it looks like. I was just trying to, you know. Just sit down. Kelly, sharply ordered by my mom, sat down with a pale face. Mom then took a deep breath and shouted even louder than before. This stupid. The air in the room became tense. Startled by the volume of her voice, Kelly shrieked and recoiled. Kelly, do you realize what you've done? It's not like that. I was just trying to straighten the cushion, and Nadia fell over. Right, Nadia? Straighten the cushion? That's impossible. Kelly clearly yanked it out. Besides, why would anyone need to straighten a cushion that someone is sitting on? It makes no sense and is totally unnecessary. I responded after a brief pause. You were trying to straighten it? Yes. Exactly. I never expected Nadia to fall over like that. It really surprised me. Kelly nodded vigorously. There was not a hint of remorse or concern in her expression, rather it seemed like she was insisting she had done nothing wrong. As if it wasn't her fault. Rather, it was clumsy of me to fall. It felt like I could hear Kelly's thoughts. She was planning to get away with it. But I was certain. Kelly had definitely done it on purpose. At that moment, I was terrified. Not just for myself, but for the baby in my belly. The thought of what could have happened if I hadn't protected my belly. If she had kicked me directly, it would have been chilling. I had so much I wanted to say to Kelly, but the words just wouldn't come out. Seeing my struggle, Kelly smirked. Look. It seems Nadia has nothing to counter with, so let's just end this topic here. We're about to run out of drinks, and I should go check on everyone. Just sitting there smugly earlier. And now using this as an excuse to escape. Kelly stood up hurriedly. Mom watched silently. She's going to get away. I have to say something. After all that happened, after putting my baby at risk, I couldn't just stay silent. In my panic and confusion, I managed to blurt out. You kicked me. Kelly turned back with a startled look. What are you saying, Nadia? You definitely kicked me, Kelly. Whether pulling the cushion was deliberate or not, I don't know. But you aimed for my belly. Wait, Nadia. Kelly came rushing towards me, flustered. Calm down, there must be some misunderstanding. I am calm. It's not a misunderstanding. You definitely kicked me. If Mom hadn't come in, you would have kicked me again. No way I would do that. Shut up. Just be quiet. Kelly reached out to cover my mouth. I almost staggered, but Mom quickly supported me. Calm down. Mom looked up sharply at Kelly. Kelly, who seemed to be weak against Mom, froze, then stepped back a few paces. When Mom quietly said again, sit down, Kelly wobbled back to the chair. I've been listening quietly to both sides, but I never imagined it would come to this. Please believe me. Nadia must be getting overly sensitive because of her pregnancy. She's having delusions. Kelly burst into tears. Not only was she good with words, but she also knew how to play the emotional card. Meanwhile, I had no evidence, and I struggled to explain myself. When emotional, I found it even harder to speak. Would I just lose to Kelly's claims and end up crying myself to sleep again? Is this how I'm going to live from now on? Tears welled up, and I looked down. Then, I felt a strong movement in my belly. From there, the fetus began to move again. As if the baby inside was encouraging me. Right, I'm going to be a mother. I can't let someone like her have her way. Wiping away my tears, I straightened up and faced forward. I may be extra cautious for the sake of my precious child. But this is not a delusion. Kelly, you did kick my belly. Kelly looked at me, her eyes wide. Ignoring her, I continued. It's not just that. You've been mean to me multiple times. You threw away my clothes, bumped into me, and today, you didn't let me rest. It was awful. And then your actions earlier. If you call all that a delusion, then you're just shameless. After finishing, I exhaled, and Kelly glared at me, her face red. Hey! Do you even understand what you're saying? Do you think yelling will silence me? Maybe in the past, but not anymore. I stroked my belly and looked at Kelly. For this child's sake, I won't lose to someone who's just good with words and loud. I won't be defeated by a bully. What did you just say? Kelly's nostrils flared with anger, as if she was about to erupt. But I wasn't scared. I couldn't stay silent anymore. Come at me if you dare. At that moment, as I braced myself for a fight, something unexpected happened. My mom burst into laughter. Kelly and I, taken aback, froze. Mom finally calmed down after a deep breath. A cornered mouse will bite the cat, as they say. She muttered, then coughed softly and looked back and forth between Kelly and me. Kelly, do you have anything else to say? You can't possibly believe what she's saying. It's all nonsense. Is that so? But you know, Kelly, I only believe what I see with my own eyes. Then, you were resting, being just a daughter-in-law, was it? The words Kelly had hurled at me earlier while snatching away the cushion. Why would Mom know those words? I saw everything from the beginning. I was so shocked I could hardly breathe. I couldn't believe what I was seeing and couldn't move immediately. I'm sorry for frightening you, Nadia. Mom murmured an apology, and I quickly waved my hands, saying it wasn't her fault. Mom had witnessed everything, not just a part but all of it. So in front of Mom, Kelly had been spouting lies. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Kelly's face drained of color. I had been concerned about Kelly's attitude towards you, Nadia. But without proof and being an old woman, I thought it odd to interfere. I never imagined it would come to this. Even Kelly was speechless. I thought I might have to step in, but Nadia, you spoke up well. Oh, yes. That's what a mother looks like. You did great. Just like my daughter. Mom smiled warmly and nodded in approval. Seeing her gentle smile, I finally relaxed and burst into tears in her arms. Then, Tom, my brother, and Dad were called from the other room for an emergency family meeting. As a result, we decided to cut ties with Kelly. Mom would coordinate our visits to ensure we wouldn't cross paths. My brother, upon learning the truth, turned pale and repeatedly apologized to Tom and me. It turns out, Kelly's behavior stemmed from jealousy. She was upset that I was pregnant while she couldn't conceive. I couldn't forgive her, but I did feel some sympathy. Later, I gave birth safely. Tom cried with joy and stayed at the hospital every day. He quickly got used to taking care of everything except breastfeeding. Though it was a struggle up to the birth, I knew the real challenge was just beginning. Mom and I became much closer after that incident. I knew I had everyone's support. With their help, I want to raise our baby well.